2025 is possibly a great year for people like me, individuals with childhood trauma and a weird god complex, aka Livestream video games players. Because, let's face it, we've been patiently waiting for the time when we could just sit back and start picking our game preference out of a selection rather than just saving up for the new The Sims content to be launched by Electronic Arts. inZoi's early access has arrived and people tested it, watched others play with it, and formulated their own opinion about it. Paralives is allegedly and hopefully arriving this year as well, and once it comes, people will have feedback for it too, because, that's how things work. We're all different and we all value different things in our interactive entertainment, and so we will always, and hopefully, have thoughts on things we experience. And that's beautiful. There you go, that's the end of the video, so thank you so much for watching. Nah, I'm playing, because that's not how things go. Not with live sim video games, not with any other video game genre, to be honest. And today we're here to talk exactly about that. So, welcome to the Drama House, my friend. I hope you're seated. Because here's the thing. When the most recent and current thing to play for us was The Sims 4, everybody knew that community was toxic AF. However, even the concept of toxic is kind of up for interpretation, because to me, the reason why the Sims 4 player base is toxic is that expressing an opinion, a piece of criticism or a complaint about the game would expose you to the toxic positivity of the fan base, who just cannot hear anybody saying anything bad about the game. But on the other side of the coin, you have the opposite faction who thinks the community is toxic simply because there are people like moi who dare to say something negative about such a jewel of a video game like The Sims 4. Who's the toxic one? I guess it's up to you to assess that, because the concept gets broadly interpreted based on who's accusing whom of such toxicity. Personally, as you might have already understood, I find the behavior of just putting band-aids over every silly thing a multi-million-dollar company makes to be not only toxic, but also an expression of freaking low standards. But that's because I value critical thinking, and I've learned that without constructive feedback, no project becomes a great project. And when people say The Sims 4 has a crazy amount of DLC, when they say their game doesn't work, when they beg EA to stop slicing content into smaller batches of undercooked crap, that's constructive criticism. Because the only reason why people say that is because they hope things will get better for the Sims franchise, Because they care about the franchise, But anyway, that's a rabbit hole I don't want to jump into right now. What I want to talk about is the audience-made invisible war between inZoi and Paralives. 'Cause that gets me, I don't know. I'm appalled, honey. This new feud really makes me think that's why we can't have nice things, people. I've noticed this behavior, actually this need of players to take a side when it comes to the new alleged Sims competitors inZoi and Paralives. It's like, if you say you're excited for Paralives, some inZoi fangirlies will come to tell you inZoi is better. And yes, this kind of goes the other way as well, like Paralives fans not liking inZoi, but I'm noticing this pattern way more with inZoi players, to be honest. And then, of course, there's the constant The Sims babes versus anything else type of war, although that usually gets solved with Sims fans saying nothing will ever be as good as The Sims, while the other side reminds them The Sims 4 still doesn't have drivable cars. And Yep, it's a lot of noise. And I know you may accuse me of being part of the chatter as well. I get it. But honey, one thing is, like I said at the beginning, one thing is expressing our opinions about what we like or we don't like, what we prefer over what we like less, you know? Another thing is laying blanket statements to silence someone's feedback, or worse, being a ride or die for something, bulldozing everything with blinkers on just to have arguments online thanks to some mob mentality. I find this so counterproductive, especially when it comes to the new titles in the Livestream universe, you know? Like when I downloaded inZoi, I didn't see any agreement that obliged me to wear a badge saying I'll have to trash talk Paralives just because the timing of their early release and their subject matter is similar. And look, it's similar just as they both belong to Live Sim because everything else is so different. inZoi has hyper-realistic graphics, Paralives has cartoonish art style. inZoi includes world management aspects, Paralives seems to be focusing more on singular households. inZoi is published by a big company, Paralives is literally made and published by a group of 12 people backed up by Patreon donations. inZoi has released in early access already, Paralives hasn't released an exact date yet. So why are we fighting? You love the realism of inZoi and Paralives' art style really turns you off? Fair enough, I am glad you have an option in inZoi. And if you won't give Paralives a chance, I get it, that's not your cup of tea. You can't wait for Paralives because you believe in the work of an independent team and you'd rather pay to play that game rather than inZoi or Sims that have investors backing them up. I get it, that's understandable and valid, and I hope Paralives will meet your expectations. You just want to play The Sims 4 because by now it feels very familiar to you and a very comfortable space to be playing in. Honestly, that's valid as well. Video games are a form of escapism and we might not want to jump into something new if what we have feels cozy. I get that. Now, if you tell me you just want to play Sims 4 because you got every single DLC from the catalog, I'm like, feel free to send me a super chat in my next live stream, honey, cause the drama house loves a wealthy donor. Okay, that's shady. Sorry. I know. Bad joke, bad joke. But also, babe, I never said shade is not allowed. Let's be fun, let's use humor, but let's just not continue labeling things and people because our need to belong is so big. If someone says they find inZoi to be too empty for their gameplay taste, this doesn't mean you are not allowed to like it. We can all like and play whatever we want at the end of the day. I personally find it commendable for the Paralives team to be working on such a big project without giving up, and I can sense the passion behind the game, while I hope this love will actually reflect in the final product, and I want to support the Paralives team and their effort. At the same time, I was the first to talk about how I sensed the dedication of Cajun when he was talking about the creation of inZoi, and I wanted to support that as well. I bought inZoi, I played it, I keep following the development, and although there are some aspects I'm still suspicious about, namely the publisher behavior when it comes to abandoning projects after release and the so-called bugs that generated heterosexual NPCs only in the game, well, I'm still not ready to sit here and say inZoi is so bad, it's not worth it, and I've given up on it, because inZoi is in fact the first alternative to The Sims we've seen in years, so I don't want to give up on it yet.
I don't know, I think I'm gonna go to Baskin Robbins.
There she is, right there. We're gonna have to speed up a little. He's zooming, dude.
Abby, what are you doing? I'm filing a police report. No,
On this channel, I've spoken about the green flags and the red flags, I've discussed the minimum requirements debacle, I've stated my opinion on the difficulties with build mode, and trust and believe I will do the same with Paralives when we have more imminent updates about the release. And yeah, I do the same when it comes to The Sims, discussing the present situation with The Sims 4 while I talk about and play with previous chapters like The Sims 2, 3, or even The Sims Medieval. But to be honest, I don't think I identify with a specific fan base, or I am Team inZoi or Team Paralives or whatever. I love life simulation video games. I fell in love with The Sims 2 more than 20 years ago, and I don't think I'm ever going back because it's a genre I truly enjoy. I'm not gonna be hating on anybody for liking inZoi more than they like Paralives or vice versa, or because they like playing The Sims 4, especially because at the end of the day, we can keep arguing in comments threads and subreddits about which game is the best, but the real side-eye should be addressed at whomever is behind these freaking games, you know? And circling back to the beginning of the video, the fact that we potentially see an opening in this landscape, that should just demonstrate how we can come together as a community who's passionate about the genre, because all our different preferences are met, or will be met, or at least we have, more options. Let's imagine a world where we can tell our inZoi player internet friends that we prefer Paralives because our computer can actually run it.
Apparently.
Sorry, being shady again. Let me rephrase. Let's imagine a world where we can tell our inZoi player internet friends that we prefer Paralives because it feels more cozy and we don't really enjoy the realistic art style. And they say, I see what you mean. I don't really like the Paralives design, but it's cool that a small team managed to make the game. Also, do you want to see my Sabrina Carpenter looking Zoe? I can't believe I managed to make her identical to the real one. So nice, isn't it? Because at the end of the day, you, me, someone on the other side of the world, our siblings, our bullies from high school, everyone who enjoys live sim video games, we all have something in common. We're all individuals with childhood trauma and a weird god complex. And I love that about us. My friend, if you made it to the end of this little opinion video on the current live sim video games feud, thank you! I really appreciate you. Do let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and if you don't mind me asking, share with us your favorite thing about playing Sims games. I'll start. I love playing with different generations and create family connections because that's something that has always intrigued me since I was a child. And doing clothes and hair makeover, obviously. While you're sharing, feel free to join me here at the Drama House by hitting the subscribe button, and if you enjoyed the vibes here today, you can also leave a like on the video. Thank you so much for stopping by today. Be blessed, my beautiful Earthling. My name is Lady Drama, and I hope I'll see you very soon.